Wayland.
K-Rock Mid-Atlantic Rock Reviews with Mitch and Phil from Wayland. Guys, thanks for being on Behind the Bands.
Happy to be here.
Big show in Pennsylvania tonight. Really love the lineup that we're with tonight. Some Silver Tongue in there in Lansdowne. You guys travel a bit. 330, how many shows in the last year?
We actually did 332 shows last year.
I wonder how you keep track of where you're going. I mean, do you lose track sometimes of what city you're in and where you're playing?
Well, we're always kind of looking forward to the next event,
Yeah.
whatever. So it's, whether it be at the next radio station or, I mean, sometimes you don't really put it together that you're in a certain area until you see certain bands come out. Like,
What did I say in Florida?
We
I
must
said
be in
something
Ohio.
about we're in Texas.
No, he said, you called it Gainesville, Texas.
Oh, Gainesville, Texas. Yeah, I was in Gainesville, Florida. Like, thank you, Gainesville, Texas. I'm not the best. Sometimes if I get a little flustered, I'll say something completely wrong on stage. But as many shows as we have done, and so many shows that we do a week, mistakes are bound to happen.
Tyler and Dean here from Wayland. So I'm going to ask you a couple of the same question we asked your bandmates there. What's the hardest thing about having, you guys did like 300 and some odd tours on the road. What has been the hardest thing about that?
The hardest thing about it? Finding a shower.
Yeah, definitely finding a shower. Sometimes just getting sleep in general, like a good night's rest, you know, but whatever, what is that anyway?
Now you guys got a 2011 EP. Are you working on it? And a brand new song, by the way, which is very cool.
Yeah, we just had a single. Yeah, we just had a single come out last week. It's called Reno. Yeah.
And is it a little different for you guys? Like it starts with kind of an acapella, kind of cool thing.
Well, it may sound different to people that are just getting to know us, but actually, we've sung harmonies like that for years, and that's actually us going back to what we've done since we started. You know, so we do that every day.
As songs kind of unfold in our writing and recording, you get the chance to do things like that. Like, man, we've always wanted to do a bunch of harmony and stuff. So we went ahead and took that opportunity to do it.
No Las Vegas, no Atlantic City. The streets are dirty and the girls are cocaine pretty. Put it all on black when there's no place left to go. There's only one road in and one road out. One road in and one road out.
How about the song Reno? Give me a little bit of the story behind Reno. Is there a story behind it?
There is a story behind it.
Is there a story you can tell? That's why.
There was some hesitation there.
A different way. Is there a story you can tell to a PG-13 audience behind it, or can you?
Yeah. We went up to Reno to do a show, and ended up having some problems with our band on the way there from Spokane, Washington. So we ended up having to fly into Reno, and then our crew guys, Chip and Jeff, drove the band down and met us there like a day and a half later, and then we basically were stuck in Reno for a couple of days and had some crazy experiences. That's pretty much what the song's about.
Just listen to the song.
And we got a new song called Get a Little that's kind of about, I don't know, it just got a different vibe to it. That's something we always kind of wanted to write, a good drinking party song, you know. And
yeah.
So we're kind of we're kind of writing from a standpoint of being on stage now. We were just talking about this earlier today. It's like after being on the road nonstop for almost 2 years now, you're not writing from that place that you were when you're writing in the studio.
I was going to ask you that. You almost have to, like, the writing process must be kind of difficult for you guys because you're
actually no. Honestly, I think it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's so much.
It's a lot easier when you're on the road to do the writing, and it all starts with Phil and I. And I think we get really excited about these songs because we are writing for our audience. We're writing for that audience that we perform for every night, and we are understanding a lot more of what is working. And we want to make the shows work. You know, when we're writing a song, we're not going to be like, well, this is going to really put a dent in the room. This is going to really make everything go downhill. No, you want the show to elevate. So that's, you know, we're learning from every show, and we just get really excited about the songwriting. And with that excitement comes inspiration. And yeah, we write a lot when we're on the road. So
how hard is it to write stuff when you guys tour constantly? What does that do to the writing process of new music?
You have to make time to work on new songs. I mean, whether it's you know, just sitting down together in the bus, you know, with an acoustic guitar and a pair of sticks on the side of the couch or whatever it is. It's not like being at home where you can like all get together and go to like a practice room and work on stuff. You know, you have to do it either on the side, like I said, like with an acoustic, or maybe if you have a chance to run a song or two during sound check.
Which is always exciting too.
Yeah.
Like the material you put it together right there, and then maybe one day later it's in the set. So it also like having the struggle of being able to write on the road. Yeah, it's hard with timing what goes on, but when you do, it like makes everything, like the shows change constantly. It's more creative. It's like you never know what's going to happen the next couple days because there's new stuff going on. So it's pretty exciting.
One nation under God, divided by desire. I know we're not the same, but the pain we both feel inside is true. The reason we're on the edge of a fight that we had knew.
Now you guys got a cool cover of a Bob Seger song. What was the inspiration to pick that song? Was it because he's from your home area, or was it because
Some of it.
Yeah, it was definitely. I think as far as my end, it was a tribute to an amazing Michigan songwriter. You know, we're from a state that has had a lot of great music come out of it. People don't think of it as a music state, I think, all the time. But man, we've got Bob Seger, the whole Motown movement happened there. You know, Ted Nugent, and even more current stuff like Kid Rock and Pop Evil.
Yeah, our guys Pop Evil.
Yeah.
That's how we met you all.
Yeah, for sure.
So as much as you guys play, now I went back and looked at some videos, and like a Wayland show in Wayland looks like a huge event. Like
Such a special night, man. It was
That
incredible.
was just a couple weeks ago.
Now how does that compare for you guys? Like when you come to a show where folks have never heard you before, do you like the event more where people know you and are screaming, or do you like trying to catch those new fans that maybe haven't heard you before? Which is more special to you guys?
Every night is
So different, yeah.
It's not really one drastic thing or the other. It's like it's so different every single night. You don't look for the differences. You actually end up looking for the common ground, you know, which ends up being our music, right? And that's where we put our focus on. It doesn't really matter who's there. That energy is amazing, the back and forth between us and the crowd. But if we walk into a room and it's 300 people that have never heard us before, they're not really going to get too much of it. The show's going to be very similar to what we would do in front of 3,000 people in our hometown. It's still a celebration of rock and roll, and we give everything we've got no matter what.
We always take that as a mark of a great band. When a band can play for 20 people or 20,000 and you get the same show. That's something
We played for negative 20.
Yeah, negative people in the room.
Do you find it more rewarding to do the big festival kind of show or the small club kind of show? Which do you prefer?
It depends on the night. Every night's got its own magical, I think, element to it. That's pretty awesome. That's why you do it. That's why you keep playing. It doesn't matter if you play for 10,000 people or two. It's a great good half. It's just great to make music with your best friends and share it with whoever's there, who's willing to listen.
The first song I heard from you guys was "Welcome to My Head," and the video for that. Can you tell us a little bit about the music video to that tune?
That was a really interesting day. We were in Atlanta.
A lot of deep thinking on
Yeah,
that
a lot of deep thinking. We were in Atlanta hanging out with our manager, Jesse Dupree, and literally one afternoon he comes running up to me and he's like, get your stuff, we're going up to this house, we're going to film a music video for Welcome to My Head. And I'm the only one there. I'm like, what about the guys? I told the guys they'll be here in a second. Phil was in the shower at the time. And literally, I mean, like, we went up and started filming. I had no idea that we were going to do that. And Jesse just followed me around in this
We
house.
thought it was going to be a day off.
Yeah.
Like, we got to this house and we were going to shower, spend the night before we headed down to Florida or something.
And we ended up working all day on that video, which is great. But Jesse shot the whole thing and kind of directed us through all the motions. I got in trouble for kicking out some windows in the house. You know, I'd get holes in the walls and stuff like that, but then I started kicking out windows, and Jesse cuts. He's like, okay, good, try not to kick out any more windows.
Yeah, that was just like a random house in this neighborhood that was vacant at the time.
And if you see the video, you'll know what they're talking about. Go back and check that out because it's a pretty cool video. video, Welcome to My Head. Can you tell me a little bit about that video and what that was like, the experience, and maybe for folks that haven't seen it, a sneak peek behind the scenes maybe?
Well, honestly, I mean, we didn't even know that we were going to be shooting that. We showed up at Jesse James Dupree's house that morning. We thought we were going to go over there and rest and kind of, you know, relax for the afternoon, and we all laid down on the floor of his studio in sleeping bags and pillows, and he just came busting through the door and was like, "You guys are going to shoot a music video, wake up," you know, and we're like...
Yeah, Phil didn't even know. He was in the shower. We were already gone filming the video, and he was like, "Where is everybody?" They're shooting the video. We're like, "Oh, you better catch up." Yeah. It was a good experience.
What's your best advice for someone living in a van with other people in tight quarters like that?
Respect, probably. I mean, we love each other a lot. That helps out a lot. But first and foremost, respect when someone needs space. Respect. We're a really clean band. I think that helps out a lot. Like staying hygienic and keeping the place clean.
No doubt.
And it keeps the energy going. It keeps the energy flowing, and it makes it nice, you know. We try really hard to stay sweet with each other because we're on top of each other all the time.
What do you miss the most when you're on the road, like constantly?
Probably family.
Yeah. And at the same time, you get so accustomed to it that you don't miss anything. I miss my bunk in the bus when we're home. You know, a couple days to be honest. It's such a weird. You know, it just is. That's our lives. You know, there's no. It was told to us before we were on the road. Someone had mentioned. They said, at some point, every band has to make the jump to the road, and that phrase just really, you know, it just resonated with him. I remember coming to tell Mitch, I'm like, you know what he said? He said every band makes a jump to the road. And that's what we need to do. And then there was no turning back.
Yeah.
Like, we planned a 2-week tour, January of 2012, but we never came home.
Now, what advice would you have for folks that this sounds bad, folks that have to live in a van with other people for a long period of time? What's the best advice you can give people how to cope and how you guys have managed to do this for like 2 years now?
Just be understanding. Make sure you know, get along with those people before you decide to get in that van. For sure.
And if something does bother you, just, I've known these guys forever, so it's like, just rolls off your shoulder. It's like any friendship or marriage.
Just learn to let it slide.
Yeah, let it slide and just enjoy each other's company as much as you can. I mean, it's crazy. We laugh all the time. We never run out of things to talk about.
It's awesome.
I think we're pretty blessed with the dudes, actually, when it comes to that.
Where's the best place for you want people to go to find Wayland music? Maybe folks that haven't heard you before. Is there a website, Facebook? What's the best place
There's
to go?
a website. Facebook is the best way to really get to know the band. You know, we post pictures from in the bus, backstage, the crowds. We do Q&As on there all the time. We have a blast on Facebook. We're all really involved in it.
And that's the best place probably to launch the new song, right? I think that's where I found it.
It's there. You get on
there. Yeah.
It's on iTunes. That's how we get in touch with people. You know, we have a Twitter as well, and you can YouTube us and all that stuff.
So, folks, this is Wayland, all the way from Michigan and Detroit and Chicago and not the Bahamas and Florida and all over. We don't know where they're going to be.
We're going to the Bahamas sometime. We'll be there sometime.
Thanks for being on the Behind the Bands.
Yeah,
thank you very much for having us.